It was a cold evening when the city lights began to fade into the mist, and in a narrow alley behind an old bookstore, a tiny cat named Marru sat trembling beside a broken cardboard box. She wasn't an ordinary cat. Her left ear was slightly torn, and her eyes had two different colors. One bright green and the other deep blue. Marru had lived all her life on the streets, fighting for every piece of food and every warm corner she could find. But that night, something was different. She was waiting for someone who would never return. The story begins not with joy, but with loss. Marru once had a small family, a kind girl named Lily who used to feed her every day after school. Lily's laughter had been Marru's favorite sound in the world. Every afternoon, Marru would run to the corner of the bookstore and wait. Lily would appear with her pink backpack, smile softly, and share her sandwich crusts with Marru. Then one day, Lily stopped coming. Days turned into weeks, and the alley felt emptier than ever. Marru didn't know what happened to her human friend, but she never stopped waiting. Winter came hard that year. Snow fell over the rooftops, and Marru's little paws froze as she searched for warmth. Most people ignored her, but one night, an old man who worked at the bookstore noticed her curled up near the door. He placed a small bowl of milk beside her and whispered, "Hang in there, little fighter." Marru looked up, her mismatched eyes reflecting the faint glow of the streetlight. It was the first act of kindness she had felt in weeks. For days, she kept returning to the same spot. The old man began leaving scraps of food and even a soft towel near the back door. Marru started to trust him. Slowly, she began exploring the bookstore when he left the door open to air out the room. The smell of old pages and wood soothed her. She liked hiding between the bookshelves, imagining they were tall trees in a safe forest. The old man chuckled whenever he saw her tiny tail disappearing behind a stack of novels. But Marru's heart still ached for Lily. Every sound of children laughing outside made her ears twitch, hoping to hear that familiar voice. One evening, she followed a group of school kids down the street, her heart pounding with fragile hope. For a moment, she thought she saw Lily's pink backpack, but when she got closer, it wasn't her. A car honked loudly, startling Marru. She darted away, her tiny heart racing as tears welled in her bright eyes. That night, she returned to the bookstore bruised and cold. The old man gently picked her up for the first time. His hands were rough but kind. "You can't live out there forever, little one," he murmured. He wrapped her in a soft wool blanket and carried her inside. Marru purred softly. It was the first time she had been held since Lily. Something inside her began to heal. Days turned into months. Marru became the bookstore's secret guardian. Customers often saw her sitting on the counter or napping beside the window, her fur glistening under the sunlight. Children loved to pet her, and even adults smiled when they saw her curled up on a stack of poetry books. She had found a new home, yet she never stopped glancing at the door whenever the bell rang, just in case Lily might walk in one day. Then one rainy afternoon, the door opened, and a young woman stepped in, holding a dripping umbrella. Her eyes scanned the room before they stopped on the cat sleeping by the window. Marru lifted her head slowly, blinking her two-colored eyes. The woman froze. "Marru," she whispered. The cat tilted her head, uncertain, but then the scent hit her. It was familiar, warm, safe. Lily had grown older, her hair longer, her eyes softer, but her voice was the same. Marru leaped off the window ledge and ran toward her, meowing desperately, the sound echoing through the quiet shop. Lily dropped her umbrella and fell to her knees, tears streaming down her face as she scooped Marru into her arms. "I thought I lost you," she cried. Marru pressed her face against Lily's chest, purring louder than ever before. The old man, watching from behind the counter, smiled silently and turned away to give them their moment. It turned out that Lily's family had moved far away years ago after an accident that left her in the hospital for months. She always wondered what happened to her street friend, but could never find her again. That day, by chance, she had wandered into the old bookstore while visiting the city, and destiny had quietly reunited them. From that day on, Marru lived with Lily again. No more cold nights, no more empty waiting. She had a warm bed, soft food, and the person she had waited for all this time. Yet sometimes, when Lily was reading late into the night, Marru would still sit by the window and gaze at the stars, her tail flicking gently. It wasn't sadness anymore, it was gratitude. She knew that some bonds never break, even when time and distance try to tear them apart. People who visited the bookstore after that often asked about the cat in the photo on the counter, a picture of Marru and Lily taken the day they reunited. The old man, now a little frailer but always kind, would tell them, "That's Marru, the cat who waited." And every person who heard that story left with a small smile, their hearts a little warmer, thinking about the love that never gave up. And if you ever walk past that same old bookstore, you might still see Marru's paw prints on the window glass, faint but unforgotten proof that even the smallest heart can hold the biggest hope.